Hello and welcome to Stateside here on Politics Social. Big shout out to everyone in the chat here. We have got Martin Harrow, we've got in there, we've got Scott, we've got Chrissy, we've got Sarah Davis, we've got Power to the People. How you doing? SG in there, Jenny Davis as well. Any relation? We've also got Pete's Music. If you'd like to join them in the chat, all you need to do is hit that nice juicy subscribe button. All two of them for some reason. I don't know why there's two of them on this screen. Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? When did two of them come up? Anyway, I don't know. So we're going to be talking about, obviously, God, Trump, I guess, today. Hopefully we'll be joined by Mikey Famine in a little bit, and possibly our friend Tim in Connecticut, and maybe even our friend Ollie, not that Ollie, different Ollie in Canada. So we'll see. We'll see if anyone else turns up. It might just be you and me. In which case, welcome. You can join the conversation. Just hit that subscribe button and wait for about 30 seconds. What have we got in the chat here? Hope everyone is okay, says Saz. Evening, Graham, says Power to the People. Evening, Power to the People. Hope you're all right tonight. So, Donald Trump's just basically completely abandoned the rule of law and is making no secret of it. His latest stunt is to declare President Biden's pardons void because he signed them with an autopen, which that's not a real thing. That's not a thing that makes something void. That's never been a thing. But is it now going to be a thing where he can use this to say that's why Biden's pardons shouldn't go ahead at what was it, midnight? He put this out in a tweet. Is it legal? Yeah, I think it probably is legal for him to do that, because you got to understand, he's a dictator running an autocracy, an oligarchy of American billionaires who can do what the fuck they like, and there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to sit back and watch. That's all we can do. Well, actually, no. In Europe and in Canada and other countries that are more sensible, like Mexico, we can fight back and say, right, America, we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to put up with your shit anymore. You have to excuse me. I need a drink. 1 second. Jane is saying, may I take this opportunity to thank you for your amazing rant this morning? It's made my day. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm good and I'm glad. I'm glad that it made your day. I think I'm coming down with something. So if I have to cut the mic for a little cough, no one needs to hear that, I always think it's really unprofessional when you hear people coughing on a mic when you can just mute it. You see what's happening, but that's just the way I feel about it. I do worry about this chair, though. I sometimes worry that this chair kind of makes noises, and you might think that it's something that it's not. I'm like, stop it, squeaky chair. Anyway, so what else is Trump? I mean, there's something remarkably, let's just say, this is insane, about the fact that Trump wants to stop the pardons that Biden did from going ahead, saying they're not legally binding for some reason. This is the same guy who pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists, people who caused the deaths of 9 people, injured 150 police officers, and led to damages to the Capitol building that wound up costing over $3 million. But they were all let off the hook and the Republicans cheered. The Republicans like, yay, let him off the hook. But Trump's approval ratings is just as high now as it's ever been. This idea that people are going to wake up and smell the coffee, it's not going to happen. Liberal America, if you want to get rid of Trump, you got to get rid of Trump. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But liberal America seems to be nowhere to be found at the moment. They're not putting up a fight. I need to talk to Mikey about this, but the Democrats are allowing this budget to go through that declares the rest of the year one day. It declares the rest of the year one day. It's just they're messing with space and time. I feel like I've just entered the bad place. How did I enter the bad place? Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. That's very kind of you. He's the C word, and he's a sausage-fingered C word. He is indeed, my friend. He is indeed. Thank you very much for that super chat. I'll move that down so it's not covering my face. There you go. Thank you, Tim. He is a sausage-fingered C word. Definitely is. I'll see you next Tuesday. C unit. Anyway, a country member Part of the people says, I do a retake if I cough. I won't have that luxury when I start doing live streams. Lol. Well, I'm going to start taking bits off these streams probably and making little individual videos. But that one that I put out today got demonetized almost instantly. I do realise that I took out the C words, but I left the F bombs in as well. I left the F bombs in, so probably not great. Now look, Trump's doing all this stuff, right? So he's declared Biden's pardons void. He's pardoned 1,500 criminals. He's railed against courts, judges, and the rule of law. He is facing a massive legal pushback, but does he care? Or does he just ignore the courts? Like the courts tell him to do something, and he ignores it. What's the punishment? See, this is something that we have to understand. A rule is only a rule if it's enforced. Otherwise, it's just a suggestion. Oh, I have a Mikey. A Mikey has arrived. A wild Mikey has appeared. Hello, Mikey. How you doing? He's out in space. Mikey is in space. Shout out to the fans of Flight to the Conchords there. So, Mikey, I was just talking, if you don't mind, about your country. Oh, okay, good. So, is there any limit to what Trump can do? How are you? Well, to us, the Democrats aren't particularly left wing. I mean, we would see them as a conservative party over here. You don't really have a left wing party, do you? Oh, hang on.
Itty bitty
Sorry,
parties,
Mikey,
but
you were muted. Oh shit, we have to do all that again. Hi, Mikey, how are you?
God damn it.
Sorry, I forgot to turn your mic on. I could hear you. No one else could. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm spring cleaning, so.
Okay. Did you enjoy the football yesterday? The soccer?
I'll watch that.
The red men played the black and white men.
I'll watch that.
Okay.
What is that? What? No.
Oh, right. Okay.
Boring. It's 97 minutes of running. It's like if Lord of the Rings was a sport.
Hey, take that back. Lord of the Rings, awesome. What's wrong with Lord of the Rings?
It's about walking.
No, it's not. It's about so much more. It's got balrogs and ents. And sometimes walking south.
I'm sure if you look in the crowd for your football match, you'll see a couple of ents, a couple of urukai.
Well, anyway, so back to the question I was asking before we got rudely interrupted by the fact I didn't turn your mic on. Sorry, everyone, my fault. I'm gonna have words with my producer after this, Mikey. You'll be glad to hear. Is there anything that can stop Trump? Can the courts? Because we're going to say the Democrats can't, right? Because they're fucking useless, right? Let's just get that off the bat.
Yeah, they don't do anything. They just go around collecting money.
Can the court stop him? Realistically,
they have in a bunch of cases. They got a lot of people reinstated. I know in California, and was it the DC judge got all of those workers that Doge fired back.
Yeah.
Which is good for them because, paycheck.
Yeah.
Nice to have a freaking paycheck. I just did an interview with Mandisa Thomas, who's the president and founder of Black Non-Believers, and her husband's 30 years in government service, fired, no reason, or they make up the bullshit reason of like performance, and then and that's what got the people back was they blamed all this. It was like, well, your performance has deemed you not necessary for the taxpayers' money. From Elon of all people, you know what I mean? The nerve.
Can I ask a question? So these kids who have gone into these federal buildings without proper permission and accessed sensitive data without proper authorization, are Are they? Can they be done on a state charge, or would it always be
Yeah,
a federal charge?
yeah, both. Like
Well, forget about the
I was
federal charge because that could be pardoned, can't it, by Trump? But the state charge can't be pardoned. Is that right?
no, they can't pardon those. And then even like if there is an after this, they don't know what the statute of limitations on that stuff is. There is no I was just following orders here. Like unless you run out the clock,
So those
yo ass
kids
did that.
at some point are going to face the repercussions of that. At some future America where sensible people
Hmm.
are back in charge somehow, or you know the bastard child of whatever is remains of America at the end of all this.
Maybe I'll try and find that TikTok and just like put my headphones up to the speaker or something like that. You should hear the voicemails that Republicans are getting right now. Like
Oh,
like it's um
you can get TikTok on your browser.
yeah, I just gotta literally get it. That's what I mean.
Tim,
Um,
thank you very much for the super chat, Tim. That is very kind of you, sir. £5. The Republicans used to be left wing, and then they went all Corbyn and went so far left they ended up extreme right wing. Um, the Republicans used to be left wing, and then they went all Corbyn and went so far left they ended up extreme right wing. I don't really think that's the case. I mean, don't forget FDR was a Democrat, but then you had the Southern Democrats who were a bunch of racists who just were part of the Democrat Party kind of by default because they hated the
well,
Republicans because they were the ones who they fought against in the Civil War, wasn't it?
I mean, Lincoln was a Republican, but
Yeah.
Republicans were liberal back
Mm.
then. And
Yeah.
then like there's if you guys want to read up on it, Google the Southern strategy where they pretty much said, "Hey, why don't we just use racism to like make sure that we never lose a vote again?" And then that is the current day Republican Party. But
Yes.
they were the Dixiecrats back then.
So do you think that the Republicans, do you think they're getting rattled? The rank and file Republicans, the you know the senators, the
They're all hiding.
members of the House of Representatives.
They're all hiding. They're all MAGA Mike Johnson, who's using bronzer, by the way.
Why do they all use makeup?
So,
What's
so
the thing?
he hadn't been doing it before, but now he's out there looking like, I don't know, a couch ready for JD Vance to pounce. Like it's
Oh,
just, I'm like, what
I'm
is
loving all the
that?
JD Vance memes of him looking like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Is he Joffrey?
Yes, I
He's
think Trump's
Joffrey, right?
Joffrey. Trump is Fat Joffrey.
I don't know. I think it's hard to say which one of them is more Joffrey-esque. Maybe it's like pre and post wine Joffrey, but they're
Yeah, maybe. I think Trump to his base is likable, whereas uh, JD Vance. This is why people go, "Oh, but JD Vance will take over his worst." I'm like, no, he's not because he doesn't have a cult. Like people don't like him. His own people don't like him. No one warms
yeah.
to him. He's a weirdo who can't order a donut. Like,
Let's see if I can find these. Ooh.
oh, there's something else I wanted to talk about. So, Leod in the chat there is saying they've also shut down the Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, Stroke Asia, etc. They were ranting about the waste of money. They are so much more space for Russia or China to fill.
$8 million a day to Elon Musk. 8 million.
What is that? How much the U.S. taxpayer is paying?
Mm-hmm.
Just into his pocket. That's not going to a car or
Mm-hmm.
going to a spaceship. That's just going into Elon Musk's back
It's
pocket.
going to his companies for contracts. Those contracts, coincidentally enough, didn't get doged, but you know, all the people working at the VA, or what was it, 40% of the VA gone. Like
Yeah.
they're intentionally scuttling the ship.
Oh yeah, and they're
They,
trashing the
they've
economy
grabbed.
on purpose. They're doing this on purpose. This is the plan. It's not an accident
Mhm.
that the economy is going to the shitter.
And like I predicted this probably what 6 months ago when he tanks the economy, and then he says, "All right, guys, let's go get all the liberals." They're gonna be like, "Dude, I am hungry. Like I can't go help you when I have to worry about my rent. I have to worry
Yeah.
about like everyone was already in such dire straits that telling people, hey, your 401k just lost $20,000 worth of value. That's years off of their life. So now these people are 60 years old and you're telling them, hey, go do Uber. Okay. You know what I mean? You're like I said, it's not the left that he's going to have to look out for, because it's probably going to take maybe another month or two before all of these horrible ideas really start like landing on the kitchen table and landing in the garage or landing
Yeah.
at the gas pump and all that stuff, because you can't just say, and then we'll make everything in America. We don't have any factories, idiot. We don't have any processing plants. We don't have the materials. We don't have any of this stuff. So this whole we'll do everything in America and we're gonna make so much money. Like, it's embarrassing that it's taken this long for so many people to realize how tariffs work. But the
Yeah.
fact that this idiot still doesn't get it, and then when I
Oh, no,
occasionally
I think
talk to
Trump knows
to the
exactly what he's
rabbit,
doing. I think his followers think that, they believe him when he says, "Oh yeah, tariffs, that'll make you rich," but he's tanking the economy because
he does not understand it. Like,
eh,
he can't use it in the right term of
yeah.
phrase. Like, he doesn't get it.
Well, they've learned from the great, from the Wall Street crash in 1929. They've learned from the Great Depression. They've learned from, years of Keynesian economics. They've learned that if they can trash an economy, if they can do something to trash the economy, yes, it fucks everybody else, but the billionaires always get bailed out. They did in 2008. They did during
There's nothing to
COVID.
bail him out with.
Yeah, they can just borrow more money, can't they?
From who? Who's going to give us money? He's put
Because,
tariffs on everybody, and no one wants to be our friend now.
yeah, I
He
know.
can't, like, you can't throw all the food on the floor at Thanksgiving dinner and then say, all right, somebody pass the peas.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
didn't
guys, I
say
really
he
like
thought it
peas.
through, but I just think that he's doing it on purpose. I don't think he's doesn't know what the tariff is. I think he knows that it's very damaging to the economy.
I don't think he knows. Because he had people before last time around, he had people before to stop him and say, hey, that no, we'll do it later. Okay, we'll do it later. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do it later. They like had to just like distract him away from it because he's really stupid.
Yeah,
Like, he's
yeah,
really, really dumb. And so then like on the occasional time that I talk to a Trumper, and I'm like, so you get tariffs, right? Like, that. He's like, no, he's bringing these countries to heal. I'm like, you're paying it, jackass. No, the other country. It's like, all right, man. Good luck with
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
I can guarantee you there's never been a country, and if you guys are out there listening, there's never been a country that's paid a tariff to America. It's always paid by American businesses and American customers one step later. It
Yeah,
is us that pays all that stuff.
yeah,
So when you jack up the prices for everything, there goes your inflation. The
yeah.
stock market is down in the dumps. So this is going to be the great slump. Donald Slump is his new name. The great slump recession, and maybe the great depression,
Well,
because
it
he
could be. It could be
because he has no idea what he's
because it's
doing.
a
And
double
then by
whammy,
fucking
isn't
over
it?
and by fucking over the farmers,
Yeah.
that's food
Okay,
production.
so
Because they're
actually,
not going to just, go into debt to make sure the crop comes in. They're just
yeah.
going to say, all right, sell on the farm.
So there's farmers' food. Just before we go on, can you just explain to me quickly the difference between Medicaid and Medicare? Is Medicare old age pension care, old age people care, and Medicaid
Yeah.
is just hospital care for anyone? Is that right?
It's kids.
What's kids? Medicare's kids.
Medicaid. Cade is kids.
Medicaid is kids, and
Yeah.
Medicare is adults.
Right.
Okay, so do all kids get Medicaid then?
If they like apply for it, yeah. It's
Okay,
not means tested. It's intentionally for people who don't have anything else, and the kid is, you know, uh, got type 1 diabetes or something like that. That's what that's for. It's
okay,
for the kids.
okay. So you've got the stock market tanking. You got the farmers not being able to make food. You got Medicare, and Medicaid being slashed, so people won't be well enough to work. You've got jobs being cut left, right, and center. People losing their jobs because of the tariffs, and people not being able to afford the basics because of tariffs. This is all happening at once, all at lightning speed. Um,
We're on day 55 or
Ow.
6.
I mean, the stock markets they've stabilized now, or are they still, you know,
Let's take a look. I'm
off a
pretty sure
cliff?
they're gonna.
Oh, we got a super chat. Hang on. Tim, thank you very much. Do you think Trump read Rees Moggs' dad's book, which is called Blood on the Streets, which is about how to make money out of a crisis? No, because Trump can't read. I think someone else read it and then told him what happened in it.
Yeah, so it looks like they rebounded like 350 points. It's not going to last. That's the thing. Like the uncertainty of Trump is toxic for markets. And without his handlers that he had before and people telling him, "Hey, don't do stupid shit." You make the markets nervous. Um, it yeah, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? And a lot of that damage has been done, and he
Yeah.
doesn't know how to correct that. He doesn't know how to be a normal person, which leads to a stable market. He doesn't know how to do that. So every time he tries, like, oh, I got it. I had this idea while I was on the toilet. I'm gonna try this. And then all of his yes men say, yeah, that's a good idea, Mr. President. That's a good idea. And then the market says, oh my God, sell, 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 just sell fucking it. Just sell the house, sell the doormat, sell the keys, sell everything. Just sell. And then it seems like somebody reels him in for a second, or he, you know, gets cucked by Ontario's premier. And then he wants to slide back and say, "Yeah, I got him to agree and all this stuff." And you know what they were doing for the milk and da da da. And then he goes into some culture war thing. And then like
Yeah.
the idiots say, "Oh, okay, that's fine." But the everyone on Wall Street is like, "If this motherfucker doesn't stop, like it's no way to run a business." But then again, he bankrupted four casinos, so him and business aren't exactly bedfellows.
I
That
was
would be him and Putin.
I was just trying to get to 538 to find out the latest polls. Closed down. Closed down last week.
Oh,
Not
really?
there anymore. Yeah, not there. You click on it, it just
Wow.
takes you to the ABC site. 538's closed down. Radio 3 Free Europe's gone. Voice of America's gone. Someone did a really good YouTube video, as a sorry, a TikTok video, American. He's trying to explain to someone who said, why are we paying taxes just to give it to foreigners?" He said, "Look, first of all, we don't give all our money to foreigners. I mean, the USA budget is less than 1% of the budget. I mean, if you wanted to make
Yeah.
savings, you'd go after the military, which uses like fucking 50% of the bloody tax dollar." But he said, "Look, imagine you live in a neighborhood and you have got the best house in the neighborhood and you got loads more money than your neighbors. Now, you could just keep all that money yourself, or you could use it to better the lives of your neighbors. You could build walls, you could plant trees, you could have CCTV cameras up to stop crime and things like that. And then your neighbors would owe you. So if anything happened to your house while you were away, if you're getting broken into or it was on fire, the neighbors would help out. They'll call up the fire brigade. But if you sat there, like taking all the money for yourself and letting the neighborhood go to rack and ruin, not only will everyone in the neighborhood hate you, your house will be worth less because it's in a shitty neighborhood. So you're actually damaging yourself by not helping out others in your community. It's a really good analogy. It's a really good way of putting it. And when you see this, your
If
house is on fire, they're not going to call the police. They're not going to call the fire brigade. And then he said, well, and imagine someone else builds a big house nearby, let's call them Russia or China or Iran, and they start helping out people in the neighborhood. Whose side are they going to be on when, things go to shit? They're going to go, oh, well, the Chinese built the nice, boulevard with all the trees on it, a nice little play park for the kids to play in, while America just hoarded all its money for itself. That's a very good analogy.
you if it's almost like a zombie apocalypse movie and there's like one person like hoarding all the food and water
Yeah.
and then they try to put people out of the shelter, are we gonna like, yeah, we might go look for another shelter like for a day, but then we're like, wait a minute, why don't we just put him out? And then they're like, why don't we just take over the shelter? Why don't we get our food and water back? So if you want to be the only house on the block with lights on,
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, Zuckerberg and all them, like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do against the hordes of Trumpers who are furious that you stole their life from them. Because
Yeah.
once they realize that their life has been ruined, I'm not gonna, I'm not getting up to save you, dude. Like, you will suffer from this. Whether you think, I have enough money, I'll get out of here. You think they're letting that plane get off the ground? You think you're getting away from this?
Yeah.
They like that's the thing about America that a lot of people underestimate. It is the pettiness of the citizens. You ain't going nowhere. I got those voicemails queued up. How do you want me to share screen? How do you want me to do it?
Yeah, if you just, yeah, I guess. Oh, no, don't share your screen. I don't think that. Well, go give it a go. I'll tell you if it doesn't work. It might not
All
work.
right.
Let's see.
Is there a button for audio? Let me see.
Yeah, there should be a
Oh,
little
yeah,
tick
sure.
box.
There it is over there.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
you
Yeah,
see?
that works. Yeah.
Threats. Then get the out of office.
Oh wow, the beeps are really
I
loud
would
on.
like to talk to Tom
Yeah, they're much
Citizen
louder than the
and
voice.
ask him why he thinks it's okay for him to take money from this nation and it over.
Oh.
Why does
God
he
damn.
think that he can
Go right in my ear.
go themselves every goddamn day, all day long, and sell his goddamn now and his employers over? Don't he know that his employers can take a axe handle and cave his head in?
Wow.
And his kids' head and his goddamn grandkids' head.
Jesus.
Oh, now
You piece.
now they're gonna go out and say, "Oh, this is Antifa. You know, these are paid actors." You go and find out before me, buddy, if these are actors or not. Let's see here. Let's see.
The freaking 1,000-year Reich lasted 12 years. Our grand experiment lasted 248 before you decided to put a knife in the backs of our fathers.
She's not wrong.
May goddamn you, may goddamn your staff, may goddamn Donald Trump, may goddamn J.D. Vance, may goddamn Elon Musk, may goddamn Michael Wiley, and the rest of you crazy. You think we don't know this is Russia? Huh? May
Wow.
goddamn every last one of you in that office, may God.
Now, keep in mind, a lot of these old dudes are calling from landlines. They're not running. They will be found, and they're ready for people to come get them. Like, I tried to warn everybody, but hey,
Goddamn your families, you all for what you've done to this country. And may God protect our undocumented brothers and sisters, our trans brothers and sisters, our lesbian and gay.
I don't think that was a Trump vote too.
Goddamn every last one of you Putin supporting white supremacist, anti-democratic.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Is it worth it?
Already understand.
Is it worth
oh, here we
it?
go. That sounds like good.
Southern white trash. That's and the ones who won the Civil War think about you. Do you understand that inferior bad genes, inbred stupid you and all your people. Tom Tillis, that piece too. Do you understand that's what regular people think of Southern white trash?
Wow. Right, I'm sorry to everyone that's trying to listen to that, how loud those beeps were. They were
Yeah.
I had that right in my ear. I had that coming right in my ear. But yeah, that showed a little bit of the fury. And this is why, although looking at the polls, I'm kind of a little bit disheartened because I think, oh fuck, is he really not? Is this not doing any damage to his approval rating? Like the people who are all in are just like absolutely all in. And
Who
like
takes
you said,
polls though?
he could kill someone on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a single vote. And I genuinely believe that.
Who takes polls?
What do you mean?
Who is polled? Which
Who's
segment
polled?
of the,
Who you mean? Who
Yeah.
are the pollsters or who are the people who asked?
who are the
question?
people asked about polls? Like, you know what I mean? Because
Depends
these
which-
old dudes,
which one it
these
is
old
because
dudes- these old dudes who are sitting out on a ranch somewhere that are calling Tillis, or these dudes that are steel workers or whatever it may be, they're at work and then they're at the bar and then they're at home and then they're at work, they're at the bar. They're not getting polled. You know what I mean? So I hear the poll numbers and he's that's a big thing from like CNN and MSNBC. They like so his poll numbers are the lowest in the honeymoon period. It's like, brother, this is what got you. This is why the Democrats lost in the first place. Look at the town halls. Like, look at how many people Bernie is packing in into a not a gymnasium, but like the sports area for like a college. It's standing room only. And Walls just did a thing in Iowa, and he's from Minnesota. He drove down because the Iowa governor didn't want to have one, didn't want to have a town hall, didn't think it was necessary. The few people that sneak out there and are the Democratic people who go out there and just, hey, what's going on? How do you guys feel? With Bernie, they're sad, because he's very empathetic. And then same thing with Walls. But then every single clip of an idiot Republican that has a town hall, he is getting cursed the fuck out and threatened, and then they're like rushing him off the stage. They're gonna be in hiding for the rest of time.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. So I was going to say, although the polls that I've seen, aren't shifting, the anger, and you only need to piss off a small number. So, like, if you imagine you piss off less than 1%, let's say a third of 1% of the American population to the point where they want to kill you, okay? That's still 1 million people. That's still 1 million people who want you dead. That's a fuckload.
All those FBI agents that were in field offices that got fired, who knows if they're gonna like have some crazy snap of conscience and say, well, I have to protect it. I have to protect the democracy.
Yeah.
They have all the ins and outs. They know how to get around. They know how to blend into a crowd. They know all that. Hey, he wants to take the gamble. Go for it, stupid.
Yeah.
That's
CIA operatives.
That's a
who have
risky
had their colleagues killed by Trump, giving away their details, their names, their code names to the enemy, giving it to Russia.
They might justify it in their brain that he is a threat to this country. And if they make that connection that he's a threat and they swore an oath to protect it and they take their oath seriously, good luck, brother. I mean, good thing you got that brain cancer kid that you gave a fucking fake Secret Service job. And what happens to the Secret Service people when they stop getting paid or their checks start showing up funny?
Well,
you saw what happened in Butler.
You saw what happened to Indra Gandhi. Darian, thank you very much for the £10 super chat, my friend. At the same time, Trump is selling out Ukraine tomorrow. He's releasing 80,000 pages of the Kennedy assassination investigation to distract the rubes.
It's going to be read that.
Damn squib, innit?
They ain't gonna read that after the big flop that was the Epstein release. Ain't nobody reading it now. They don't care.
Tim Ballon, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, referring to the beeps on the answer machine there. Wayne has competition there. Yes, he does.
Wayne be like, all right, fill your boots, lads, fill your boots.
Alvon says, I thank God every day that the Tories still aren't in charge. Imagine Liz Truss as PM and Trump. Oh my God. That's if ever there was one.
If you guys haven't petitioned your government to change your election laws right now, you are wasting time.
Yes,
you are wasting time because you need to make sure that foreign actors cannot, because that was Elon's next plan, right? America was supposed to go over so smoothly because he's a moron. And then he was supposed to go over to you guys and then just start dumping money over there and dumping money over in Germany and I mean Brazil, or not Brazil, Argentina's already compromised. But you know that's their plan. And
I'm just sick.
I'm waiting for
away with it, Mikey. Like over here,
this is not the place to try it. There's a lot like
Nigel Farage has worked with the fucking Russians. Like he's been paid by the Russians. He's a Russian stooge. He has fucked over our country at the behest of the Russians. He last summer instigated riots in our country in which people could have died. There was a hotel filled with asylum seekers that the mob tried to set on fire, Mikey.
Oh, they put the burning dumpsters underneath the fire escapes so they couldn't get out.
Yeah. And he did that. And he's still walking free. He's still appearing on TV. Still saying, oh yeah, you can come and do a guest slot. Why the fuck do we do this for rich people? We wouldn't do that for you. We wouldn't do it for me.
Look, a lot of people go to jail over here and a lot of people ain't afraid to go back to jail. I'll say that. Like
yeah, it's to do with life.
Doing bad politics and trying to take away people's freedoms and rights. It's a risky proposition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if these people think that everyone's just going to go into the dark ages willingly, because at this point, the battle's been on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Because every time he's coming to like Chicago, out of here. We're not opening the door. Get out. Dumbass. And then they were just like grabbing random people off the streets, like, aha, Mexican, grab them. Then the people are citizens, so then they have to fly them back.
Yeah.
But now they're going after and this was my prediction a couple of weeks ago. Trump's trying to turn us into Israel, where you
Yes.
just suppress all the free speech.
Yep.
Anybody who says anything against anything is
But
anti-Semitic.
Saudi Arabia.
I mean, they literally we took all of the tactics from the IDF or IOF, depending on who you ask. And that's what's been applied to protesters for, like, they've been hacking phones for years.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped going to protests and shit like that.
Well, this is the thing
Because
about you know, the
the
freedom
face
of
cameras
speech
and all that stuff.
only extends to the people who say the right
Speech
things.
I like.
Yeah, the speech I like. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But Chris C says, unfortunately, Mikey, our government are more interested in stressing out the disabled and sick than to deal with foreign interference in our politics. It does feel that way a little bit. Chris also says, just when you think Trump can't get any lower, he proves us wrong. I don't think there is no base to which this man will not sink. You know, you were talking about the PP tape. You know, you were saying that Putin has a PP tape of Donald Trump, and I was sort of going, "Oh,
Confirmed."
if that came out, though, would that really snooker him?" I think it's worse than that, mate. It's got to be worse. It's got to be Jeffrey Epstein plus levels.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Well,
got to be
that's
something
already
that
known.
is so horrific. Even his diehard MAGA faithful couldn't stomach it. So it would have to
But
be.
he's not interested in supporters. The only reason he ran this time was to stay out of jail. You know what I mean? Like, all this
He's
stuff.
not interested in his supporters' well-being, but he's interested in making sure that there's people surrounding him who, you know, to be his private militia and stuff. That's why he let out all the Proud Boys.
They're not. Well, the Proud Boys is another thing, but like his cabinet and all them, most of them are remedial and dumb and don't even know they're not even supposed to be there. Like,
Yeah.
Linda McMahon should be nowhere near a department of anything. She needs to be in like the cosmetic department of Walmart. Like, that's where she needs to be. But instead they got her up there and she said on camera, "I'm just here to, you know, get rid of the Department of Education." And the Trump people are like, "Yeah, let's take it back to the states." Where do you think the states get a lot of their funding from? You're not going to get anything. But they don't know how the government works, which is part of their plan to, like, you know, push Joe Rogan and make sure that the Taint brothers are nice and popular, and because they want them dumb. And I see the posts. I see them like, yeah, finally those got rid of that protester who was over there hating on America. He shouldn't be here. First of all, he was a green card holder. So as far as anyone's concerned, he was one speech away from being a citizen. Like, he just has to really go in there and just like say the speech to be a naturalized citizen. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I found out something shocking this week. Apparently Joe Rogan is a comedian. I've never heard him say anything funny. I've never heard him tell a joke.
It's always in brackets comedian on the little stuff he does. I'm like,
Have you
I don't
ever
know.
heard
I
him tell a
think
fucking joke? All I hear is him whinging about stuff like all rich people do is just whinge all the time. So sick of hearing them
So
fucking
hard.
whinging.
it's so hard to be rich.
Are you
They're just trying to
enjoying
take all my money.
Are you enjoying the TikTok trend of saying what you're going to do on the day that it happens?
I I should jump on that trend though. I should go get a special bottle of champagne. Did you hear him say that he's gonna put 200% tariffs on
Champagne.
the EU for wine and champagne,
And they're going to make their own champagne?
in America? I'm like, you undignified roach. Like, how do you not know? How do you not know? It would be sparkling wine at best. Champagne only comes from the Champagne region of France.
Yeah, but if America does tell everyone else to fuck off, they don't care about copyright, you see, or geographic indicators. And the good news about that is if America decides it doesn't give a shit about copyrights, the IP, we're going to just rip off you guys. We're going to have our own Marvel comic book universe filled with British actors doing British...
Here we go.
No, that's the same as you've got. Isn't your Captain America British? Is he American?
No.
No. Is it Superman who's British? They come and have these British Supermen.
Doctor Strange is British.
Doctor Strange is British. No,
I
Henry
think the Hulk is
Cavill.
British.
Henry Cavill's British.
Oh yeah, he is Superman.
Spider-Man's British.
Where's Patton from? Is he the Batman? Is he
He's
he
British.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Harry Potter, isn't he?
Is
So
he?
Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man all British. Good. We're taking them back, mate. That's what happens when you don't respect our champagne. Has to come from champagne.
You can't
Also,
have but Zendaya's ours, so you're never gonna get Spider-Man back.
also, it means I can make bourbon. I just go get some Scotch whiskey. I just relabel it as bourbon.
And see this is the thing. He's like, and we'll show you Canada. Check out how I negotiate. Watch how I get Canada to kneel. And they're like, hey, shut down all the Kentucky bourbon. And then Kentucky's like, dude, shut up. Shut the fuck. Like, stop. What are you saying? And then he's like, well, we'll figure it out. And it's like, okay, Jack Daniels is about to be $1 a bottle. They're gonna be pouring it down the drains. Like, oh, we got to make space. And that's like, he doesn't understand. We can't drink all that.
Yeah.
Like the things that we do produce, we produce way more than we would ever use ourselves because it's profitable. That's how business works. I don't sit at home making brooms so I can sweep the house 65 times a day. No, I sell the fucking brooms. You get the brooms out of the house where you made them. You don't just keep them in the house.
But he said
moron.
They don't need the oil or the wood
Electricity.
from Canada or the potash from Canada. I mean, like, what?
Yes, the hell we do,
I was
dumbass.
like, how can you?
He doesn't know how farms work.
You can grow your own trees, though, can't you?
He's talking about lifting up all the stuff to let them into the preserves. We'll use that lumber.
Yeah. But I mean, the court's blocked so much of his stuff. So his birthright citizenship ban has been blocked. The trans rights rollback has been blocked. The dismantling the US aid has been blocked. Asylum freeze has been blocked. They blocked him sending a bunch of criminals to El Salvador, but then he went, oops, I already sent them.
He's got a show cause today to show why he didn't follow the order. So they got to send somebody up down there to DC court to explain themselves. I think that's happening right now.
But what's actually going to happen? I mean, what happens when a president refuses to follow the law when he's been told by the Supreme Court that he's above the law?
The people that show up at court are not, and then you're going to get into contempt category. So how many lawyers of his want to go to jail?
Well,
and then they'll hold you. It's as many as they can produce, and if they don't give the judge the answers that the judge is looking for, they can. It doesn't. He thinks it works a certain way, and he's going to be able to get away with all of this. All right, you bullied Congress. Well, you bullied Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, resign. Just go.
Yeah.
You've done more than enough. Just go. AOC's ready to take your spot. Go.
Yeah.
Leave.
Leod has put in the chat. Guess where has lots of potash and timber? Yes, Russia. Good point.
Yeah, that'll be cheap too. It'll be so much more efficient to get it from Russia than from the place that's directly above us, and we have trains that literally go from the mine to the farmers. I mean, that's way too wasteful, and screw Canada anyway, right? Yeah. Like, it's the dumbest thing.
But it's what the dumbest thing. It's what Britain did with Brexit. We said, we don't want all this stuff from next door. We'll buy it from the other side of the world instead. That'll show them.
Oh, the Australian beef. Just we'll get our beef from Australia. It's only 17 days away. Like, what? I don't know what the plan there was, but I'm in all of these like red districts where all the farming and all the manufacturing. Like West Virginia has been devastated. They had another round of floods. 27 people died in the tornadoes the other night.
Yeah. Not
a word from them. Hasn't said anything about it. Doesn't give a shit.
Nope.
This stuff adds up. So when the angry mobs start, Democrats, won't you get them? No. I will give them a roadmap to DC and be like, your problems are there, sir.
Do you think that Doge and Musk have overreached enough now that they're actually going to be... but let's talk about Musk. I mean, I've got my theory about, okay, he might get declared bankrupt, but I do think that the government's just going to bail him out. Like,
with what? We don't have anything.
Everyone else. Who's rich?
Remember, we have this huge deficit. How are we going to bail them out?
Just print more money.
Okay.
Doge,
and then he's
Dogecoin, Bitcoin, crypto.
And then they have this like they want a crypto reserve and all this stuff, and they're like, oh well, we're not gonna buy any, we're just gonna like seize it from people. I'm sure the Doge kids will love that the government will just come in and say, hey, I didn't like your social media post. You're gonna forfeit your assets.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll love that. Keep it up. And then the cyber attacks are gonna start. Like this is him setting himself up for the revolution. So if you want to keep stoking the flames there, big boy.
Well, I've got an idea.
Who am I to stop?
So I'm just going to double check this. Probably not the best thing to type into the internet, but it is. Yeah, okay, just double checked. Pornhub is Canadian. It's not American. It's Canadian. Now there is something that Pornhub could do to America if it so wished, and it could in a single stroke ruin the lives of millions of Americans. Release their porn history. I'm just saying, Pornhub, you know, if it got to it, if push came to shove, if America starts trying to put boots on the ground,
drop the dossier.
Drop it.
But this is the thing. Like I told you already, in a Friday politics social or whatever, Friday night social, it is very clear what the southern states are into versus what the northern states are into. Like it's very clear.
Isn't it like the southern states?
Why do you think they're obsessed?
Trans people and incest. Is that the top one?
Yeah, that's what they're obsessed with.
Yes.
That's what they're obsessed with.
Pornhub probably have a list of elected state officials, federal officials in the Republican Party, and all the porn they've watched in the last 15 years on Pornhub, or one of their other many platforms. They own a lot of them.
Do it. Ain't no shame in my game. I don't have a bunch of rabid, nasty stuff in mind. So if I have to be exposed just to get them, go for it. I will take the criticism,
thing, isn't it? Because I think that, you know, if my porn searches over the years have been made, public, I don't think anyone will think any less of me. They'll just be like, oh yeah, well, okay, fair enough. But like, for those Republicans who are all, oh, I believe in the Bible and my family and NASCAR or whatever the fuck they go on about all the time, it could be devastating. It could be absolutely devastating. And I hope that is.
I hope it all comes out because, like, I mean, I would say, like, yeah, that'll really embarrass the Republican. Dude, they are hiding for their lives right now. Like, they are petrified. They don't have the same kind of protections like J.D. Vance and Trump and Musk do. They can't afford it. So they have to go back to their little ranch, which is bigger than everyone else in their district because they're rich on lobby money. And now they have to go back there and hide in their house because all of their constituents will be waiting on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, MAGA Mike just put them out for vacation or whatever for a couple of weeks. Let's just do a head count before and after. Let's just see. Because, I mean, they don't understand what they've done.
Yeah.
Like, poor people are the best people in this country. The middle and lower class are the best people of this country. We take care of each other. We have a lot of community, and we get shit done. Yeah. You want to fuck with the veterans and the teachers and the nurses? All right. That was probably not your best idea, but they'll figure that out before too long.
Well, as the woman said on the call in there, you know, the 1,000-year Reich only lasted for what, 14 years or something, 13 years,
12 years.
Yeah. Tim Ballon, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. Sorry, I missed that. The wood from trees further south is of lower density and strength. In the UK, it's C16 versus C64. No, sorry, C20 Sorry, if I see C60, I just think Commodore 64. Sorry, I'll read that again. In the UK, it's C16 versus C24. I almost said it again then. I keep fluffing my lines. Need to
Can we
sort
take it from
out
one?
auto
All right,
cue.
everybody back to one. Speed, rolling,
Rolling.
and action.
It's C16 versus C24. I don't know what that means, though. Do you know what that means?
I think it has to do with the density of the wood, no?
Ooh.
Like how...
So if you're going to make it like a bat to sort of beat someone to death with, you'd want
Well,
it
if you,
to be from
well, you wouldn't
feather
want
north.
like... Well, you wouldn't want like a soft wood to make like the like the struts for your house.
Yeah.
You'd want some proper stiff wood.
I've got some nice tropical hardwood. Smuggle it home with me.
But I mean, this is it's unfortunate that it's gonna be this bad, but it's the only way. You know, like that is the only thing that's gonna save us is people getting hurt, right? Because they have proved over and over and over again they don't give a shit about anybody else at all until they end up being part of the group that's being oppressed. And they're like, hey, this is bad. Well, I didn't know this was going to affect my life. I just wanted lower taxes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to get lower taxes, buddy. And wages and healthcare results. And because when they try to privatize the VA and they're going to try to privatize Medicare and they're going to try to give it to like United Healthcare and all these other, but like that's the plan. Is they're just going to give it all to United Healthcare. And just like a homeboy got snuffed by Luigi, his brilliant idea as the CEO was to use AI to deny claims. It was like a 75% denial rate for people's claims for healthcare. Okay, if you think that that's a good idea to have a bunch of sick people who are super pissed at you, that's not a great plan. I would suggest something else. But if that's what they want to do and that's what they're obsessed with doing, it's not going to go down the way that they think it will. These people are we've been bailing out people since 2008 with the banks and then the airlines and then the automakers and then the trains. And then we're always bailing everybody else out. And we have to do all this quantitative easing and then this to preserve the status quo so that, you know, the billionaires can stay billionaires. We would hate for them to lose a penny. Yeah. They're going to get to the point where they don't give a shit if it collapses. Yeah. They're not going to give a shit. And then you're like, well, you need to do what I say. You need to come over here and make me. And then how are you going to pay the people to make you? Pay them in Trump bucks? Pay them in Trump coin?
Well,
it's not going to mean anything.
I've always resisted this kind of accelerationist mentality of, well, if it gets really, really bad, then finally things will change for the better. When people said that with Brexit, it kind of pissed me off. But I think this is different with America. I really think that now it has gone too far. These people are taking the absolute piss. The guardrails are off. There's no stopping them until the inevitable happens, which is they fuck up so badly that it results in something incredibly tragic. And I keep thinking of did you watch Andor, the Star Wars show?
Yeah.
I keep thinking of Luthen's monologue where he says about what he sacrificed. And he says, I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. And that always stays with me. That idea that he knew that making a rebellion would make the empire attack people more, hurt people more, invade more planets, kill more people. And yet he still thought that was, well, he knew that he had to do that in order for people to pay attention to what the empire was doing, because it was the slowly boiling frog in the water. And he's got to make people aware of what's happening. And if that means that people have to die, he's got to have that on his conscience for the rest of his life. And it's interesting to make the path from what Luthen does to build the Rebel Alliance up to the point where they're in a state where they can actually attack the Death Star and blow it up. And the end of Star Wars Episode 1. Episode 4. Sorry, spoilers. 40-year-old spoilers there for people. Kieran Crossan, thank you very much.
I was halfway through it. Damn it.
Kieran Crossan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. How long before the vultures short the hell out of Tesla? We'll come to that in a moment. But yeah, just to go back to what I was saying about Luthen. I find that like a really interesting thing, of the fact that he says something about not seeing the light of the sunrise. He won't be here to see what's down the line. I think a a lot of Americans are going to be in that position in the next few years. And or Gravity Falls. Yeah, Gravity Falls as well. One called Stan and his friends. Sorry, yeah, so how long before the vultures short the hell out of Tesla? That's what Kieran wants to know.
It's down $116 this month. Yeesh.
But it's only gone back to what it was before the election, hasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Is it below what it was before the election?
Let's see.
Go to the 5
year to date. Well, 5 year. So
it's 238 today. We're looking at Tesla stock. Yeah, it's 238 and $1 today. So yeah, it was. Oh, it's been a while since it was that low. No, it wasn't. It was about. Let's have a look. It was about September last year that it was that low.
and all those little dips, I'm looking at the little chart here. All those dips are the recalls. Like he had, I think the X, the SUV had like 7 recalls or something like that, with the doors acting crazy, or it just driving into the center median on the highway. The accelerators were getting stuck down because of the stupid floor mats, because they don't know how to make a car. Like everybody knows, you have to mount the mats now. The mats have to be secured into the car, or else you will get exactly that. They will slide up, and then you can't slow the car down because the gas pedal is stuck to the floor.
Yeah,
buzzing.
I've just seen so many videos where the Teslas just get ripped apart by people. Like, people just rip apart so easily. But yeah, I've got a.
It's only the beginning. Like I've been saying for a while, some of us are ready for this.
Yeah.
Some of us are not. Like I don't have anything to make me. I'm not the nail that's sticking up the highest right now.
Right.
So keep it up, other nails. Get as high as you can, because when the hammer comes down, you're gonna look like a much better target than me. Yeah. So keep it up, right up.
Poor USA is looking grim, says Plum Duff.
Well, I thank him for the sympathy, because a lot of people are like, ha ha, America's having a downfall. Okay. Americans are petty, and we remember. So be careful who you mock and who you make fun of, because when it is your time to call for help, and there will be that time, there will be a lot less sympathetic people out there, and then other people will be looking at you saying, ha ha, and even that's why, like, even the idiots who are fucking around and finding out, like, it is still important for me to tell them, you need to do what you need to do to protect yourself from this coming collapse. There's not going to be a collapse. You just was like, right, I'm wrong, fine, but just listen to me anyway. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Paul Revere moment of letting them know this is going to bury you. You're not going to make it through it if you don't plan ahead and prepare yourself now. Because if he gets half of what he wants to do done, there won't, it does, the math of it doesn't work. Like, you can't take away entitlements for tax cuts for rich people without them finding out about it.
Yeah. Like,
they're gonna notice that I had to move in mom and dad into my place because they got kicked off of Medicare, and now the insurance company wants them to pay $1,000 a month for her diabetes medicine. Or my dad has my dad has seizures, so he has to take a medication, and now instead of $60 a month, it's $600 a month.
I've seen stories where the daughter has had parents who voted for Trump and then sent her off to get the medication, and she's come back and said, yeah, that cost over $1,000. And they're like, oh, what, for all of them? She's like, no, just for one
of them. Like, that's the other part of, like, the health. Like, you guys get all of the benefits of, like, the American healthcare system because they just do all the research, all the development, all the manufacturing here, and then they ship it overseas, and you guys get it for pennies on the dollar because you guys negotiate and bargain with them, and you say, hey, if you want to get into our market at all, you're not going above this price.
Yep.
We don't have that. So they
You could
just
have
kind
that.
of,
You could have that. But
if only there wasn't so much money in politics where the lobbyists are just
Yeah.
allowing. Another reason why I hate Democrats is they will allow these lobbyists
Yep.
to just pay them through the nose, and they just have no, well, someone else will stop it after me.
But-
Someone else
but-
will save the day.
for the pharmaceutical companies, this is really shit at the moment because they might be thinking, oh yeah, great, we can charge through the nose for our medicines, but they're not going to get any new stuff because there's going to be no R&D. The government
gonna get
subsidies
paid-
have stopped, and they're stopped funding anyone who goes to college in America who dares not be a fucking MAGA dickhead. And it's like, there's very few people who get into university who are MAGA, unless they're dead rich. But the normal person who's smart enough to get in university is smart enough not to be a MAGA.
I mean, and even if they are when they start, they aren't when they leave.
Yeah.
Because just being exposed to other people, which is usually the first time for them, because I love when people say, "Oh, I have a black friend. I have black friends." It's like statistically, some of y'all are lying. Especially a black guy friend, because black people are 13% of the population and black men are 6% of the population. If you're 65% of the population, it is statistically impossible for all y'all to know somebody black. It ain't true. So then they go to college
know
for
the
first
same
time.
black person who just has loads and loads of white friends.
I have more white friends than probably most. The math ain't mathing. Because I ain't been everywhere, and there's not me's everywhere, just sprinkled across the country, just being that one friend. So when they go to college and they like, oh, it's one of those guys from TV, and then they actually hang out with people, or they're their roommates or something like that, and they have to shed all that bullshit because then the illusion is dropped.
Yeah.
Now what they're gonna find out is, holy shit, the black people are really organized and they're taking care of each other. Holy shit, the Mexican people are taking care of each other. Oh, this selfish, I'll just look out for me. And then, good luck, white people.
No one's there to look out for you at the end. This is
because white people tend to not like wanting to take care of. I'm not paying for somebody else's school loans. Da 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 da. Why should I have to? Okay,
Hear that a lot,
keep
don't
that keep that same energy. Keep
Tim
that
Ballum,
same energy.
Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £3 super chat, mate. That's really kind of you. The new Mark Rober video is a killer for Tesla. Is that the Roadrunner one? Have you seen the Roadrunner video, Mikey, for Tesla?
Mm-mm.
So basically, they ran all these tests with Teslas. I think this is the video that Tim is referring to. If it's not, sorry, Tim, but thanks for the money anyway.
Can you fool a self-driving car? It's called.
Yes, can you fool it? And it was they did tests where they sprayed water across a road to see if you couldn't go through a wall of water. They had like a dummy of a child in the middle of the road to see whether the Tesla will go through. So it's against a car that's got LiDAR, and the LiDAR stops on every single test, right? And the Tesla only stops on 2 of the 5 tests, I think. And one of the ones it doesn't stop on is literally a road drawn on a wall, a polystyrene wall, but they drew a picture of the road on a wall, like in Roadrunner. And like Wile E. Coyote went straight into the wall, didn't stop, because it can only work on what it sees. It doesn't have LiDAR, which is just, for self-driving cars, I just thought that it would. It would have sonar, LiDAR, and radar. I thought that would just have all those things. So it could see things better than you or I. But apparently, no, it just works off the camera.
And LiDAR is light detection and ranging. That's what that stands for.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
radio
that
detection and ranging is radar.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cheap. Like, that's what everyone's trying to explain to you, is it's cheap. And then I don't know if you've seen the BYD videos, but I don't remember the name of it. It's something you ate. They just drive it into a river. I was like, oh, well, that's a waste. And then it turns around and drives back. I was like, oh,
Ooh.
plot armor. That's nice.
Well, the plot armor on a car. Well, the people ripping apart Teslas is like just insane. That especially the Cybertrucks, they're so badly put together. They're stuck together with glue, Mikey. Like,
Well,
it's
how else
just,
are you going to get metal on metal?
it's just, I don't know. It's just
It's a
fucking bonkers.
scam. It's a scam. But nevertheless, all that money from the U.S. government is going to Tesla and going to Elon for all this stuff.
Yeah.
American companies have been working on their own stuff for ages. Like, I think probably one of the better electric vehicles is that F-150 Lightning. That's all electric.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. It's a good ass truck, and it can power your house for 3 days if your power goes out.
Yeah.
You can just plug it in, and then you just turn your lights back on, and everything's good. Or if you need to run your sump pump so that your basement doesn't flood, like, pretty impressive. Can you do that with a Tesla? Nope, can't do nothing. I mean,
Also,
you can't.
they're really,
and I live
really shit. And like, yeah. So the,
and I
the
live
moral of the
somewhere with
story is, don't
and
buy
I
a
live
Tesla.
somewhere with weather. I don't see a lot of Teslas out there, tackling the snow. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my
they
god, no,
don't.
the video, but there is a whole genre of videos of people just putting a Tesla to the test. Like you used to see on Top Gear, where they'll just do daft things. There was a famous Top Gear sketch where they essentially tried to destroy a Toyota pickup truck. They put it on top of a building and blew up the building, and then they threw it off a pier. They did all this, and it just kept working. It just wouldn't die. It just wouldn't
couldn't
fucking
kill it.
die. And that's why all these, mercenaries and ne'er-do-wells in Africa go round on a Toyota pickup truck. Cause
It's the Hilux.
Yeah, the Toyota Hilux. It just never dies. Tesla's like the opposite of that. Tesla's like this egg. It's like a little egg. It just breaks at the first opportunity.
It's an egg with like a self-identity crisis. Don't shout at it, because it'll just stop working if you shout at it. It just can't work at all. Speaking of weak bitches, did you hear Elon had to get he sent out an aide to go get him a big screen TV so he could get a video game going inside the office, because he's so stressed out from everybody like threatening him and telling him he should like put himself in a rocket and go into the sun and all that. Like, he got so upset about it. He's like, can you just go to Best Buy and go get me a flat screen, because I need to play some Call of Duty because they're making fun. And he's like having crying fits. This is the beginning, jackass. Welcome to the real world. This ain't South Africa. This ain't Canada. You're in the real deal Holyfield
I've
now.
heard that he cries a lot.
Because he's emotionally unstable. Look at him. That's what he's roaring and shit, running around with chainsaws. He's 12. He's never been told no in his entire life, and now people are like, "I'm gonna find you," and he's like, "They're gonna find me." Like, he's freaking out. You should be freaked out. You could say, "Hey, Elon, just do it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Yeah.
No one will miss you. Everybody will be happy. Just do it." Stop Doge. I'm talking about, of course.
Stop Doge. There isn't a single dead-on angle on a Cybertruck. Car panels are curved for a reason. We can see the mismatches.
They're built like shit.
Why are people vandalizing Teslas? Give them time; they'll self-destroy all on their own. Yeah, you can't take them out in any kind of weather. You can't clean them with soap because they'll rust, and you can't let leaves, the wrong type of leaves. If they land on your Tesla, they will stain your Tesla.
The oil from your hands on the doors. Everyone's got fingerprints like a stainless steel refrigerator.
Yeah. And
you can't clean it off, or else you'll void your warranty, and then your lease, or you void your lease, and then you're screwed and you're stuck with it.
Darian once says, let's start calling Teslas by their real name, swastikars, and Cybertrucks are wank panzers, which is true. And Olliman, Commander, is it Commander? No,
Canadian
Olliman is saying,
"Hey, it's Ollie."
Oh, is it? Hello, Ollie. How you doing, mate? You can't drive a Tesla at night when it's snowing. The way the bumper stroke headlights are set up, the snow builds up in front of your lights. You have to stop and clean them off all the time.
Oh,
it's that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets to make his own car.
And it's just so expensive still. And even though that they had the Tesla sales event out there on the White House lawn, like, can you imagine if Obama was selling lowriders on the front lawn of the White House? Yeah. Can you imagine?
Well, just to round off, I just want to say the thing that's going to stop Trump in the end, I don't think it's the Constitution. I don't think it's the courts. I don't think it's the Democrats. I don't even think it's popular revolt. I think Trump's going to stop Trump, because he's going to do something that is just going to be a bit, a bridge too far for somebody. And he has so many enemies in so many places. And yeah, if you're, Secret Service and your whole family's been thrown on the scrap heap and it's your last day at work, I mean, why not turn the other way?
That's his bullet to dodge, they say.
Yes, indeed. Let's hope he doesn't next time. Anyway, I can't say that. Can I? Oh, just did. Mikey, thank you so much for joining us on Stateside tonight. I'm going to leave our wonderful viewers here with the latest Led by Donkeys video. So, enjoy. I hope the sound works. If it doesn't, I apologize.
Subscribe to the Bin Podcast.
And yeah, if you, I'll put that onto the, what's it called? What's the thing called? The description.
Title.
Yeah. So the Bin Network.
Bin Podcast Network.
Bin Podcast Network. Let me get it right. Okay. Bin Podcast Network. That's where you will find Mikey and friends. If you go onto the title of this video, if you click on the @ where it says the Bin Podcast Network, that'll take you over to Mikey's channel where you can see Mikey and also Brenner and also Ollie not Ollie in Yorkshire, but Ollie in Canada, and also Tim in Connecticut. So, and anyone else? Who else is on your channel?
We got Mark, Brenna, Wayne Chartan.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for now. We have some other shows coming up. We're really close to 1,000, so we can start getting super chats.
Let's get some more subscriptions.
We're almost there.
The Bin.
We just need the rest of that stuff.
Okay. All right. Get over there. Because Mikey helps this channel out a lot, so we should return the favor. All right, Mikey.
He says.
Hopefully, I'll see you on Friday. Until then, I'll say to you watching, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the chat and the super chats and all the kind messages. And until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, where I'll be back with another episode of Morning Brew, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. I'm going to leave you here.
Laters.
And I've been a Tesla owner for 6 years.
By donkeys.
We used to joke that Elon Musk was like a real-life Iron Man. But then I think there's so many things that have happened. He's gone into becoming someone who is obsessed by power, and that's really changed my view on him. And when he started getting onto the ticket of the extreme far right, that's when I started thinking, I'm not really sure I should be driving a Tesla. But the pinnacle, I'd say the absolute pinnacle, was the Nazi salute that, of course has become very infamous now. But at that point, there was no turning back. My message to anyone who's thinking of buying a Tesla, don't put your money towards this extremism and division of society. Please don't buy a Tesla.